Now I've just taken a picture of my handwritten solution from my iPhone, and since I have iCloud and my photos sync to my Photos app on my computer, I can simply just open Photos. Here I have my image. I'm just going to clean it up a little bit by rotating it counterclockwise. I'm also going to do some cropping to get rid of those hardwood floors. So I'm going to go to Edit. I'm going to navigate to Crop. And I'm just going to just select the paper. Done. And then I'm going to navigate to File. We're going to export this one photo. By default, it's going to save as a JPEG. You could alternatively save it to PNG. I'll keep it as my JPEG. And I'm going to export it. And then you can save this file in the same location where your QMD file is. Mine's actually saved in the parent directory, so my QMD file lives in this folder called 2024 W2. You can save your image here directly and just call to it here. My preference is usually to create a subdirectory called IMG and save all my images here. So I'm going to press export. So by default, the name of this file will simply be one created by your iPhone. So if I navigate to that folder, it was an image. Right, here's that file that we just saved as a JPEG, right? So image 2971 in my case. So I'll probably want to give it a more informative name, so maybe exercise 1 scan. Okay, and then as per usual, we can navigate to our QMD file. We can use the markdown syntax. So exclamation point, square brackets, and then navigate to the image. So image, and I forget what I called it. So usually in this case, I'll just go to the visual editor and I'll use the clicky buttons. Right, so you can go to the picture of the figure. We'll browse for our image here. It was exercise-1-scan JPEG. And then we can give it a nice caption. A scan of my solution converted from my iPhone photos. If we re-render the document, we can see that now our image has been embedded, and we can see what was kind of written under the hood. Now, alternatively, if you don't have iCloud and you don't have automatic sync with your photos, what you could do is you can AirDrop your photo to your computer. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, and then you can see here that it exports to this HEIC format, which stands for High Efficiency Image Container. Notably, these formats are not accepted in Quarto. So what we can do is, well, firstly I want to edit this a little bit. I'll rotate it to the left. I'll also do some cropping. So when I double click it, it'll automatically open in preview, which is exactly what I want. I'm going to hit Command A just to select the entire image. And then I'm just going to take these corners here, which can sometimes be tricky to get at. But I'm just going to move those dots to crop the image so that I can remove those hardwood floors. And then I usually just go to the help. I search for crop and I hit crop. All right, so that's a little bit better. I might want to remove a little bit more here. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to go to File. We want to go to Export. And then I'm going to either save it as a PNG, which is the default. There's other formats, so usually PNG or JPEG are the safest ones. So I'll just leave it as PNG, and I'll give it a more meaningful name, maybe exercise 1 scan So now, once I go to my Quarto document, what we can do is, let me just start this over again. So going to source, sometimes I find it easier to work through the source when I'm trying to do things like this. And I'll move back to the visual editor. So if we render our document, we don't have any exercise solution yet here. So what I can do in the visual editor is click on this figure, and we can have this nice pop-up window that helps us browse for the image that we're looking for. In this case, I want the one that we just scanned and converted to PNG. If we want, we can give it a caption. This was my solution for exercise 1 converted from my iPhone. All right, and if we re-render the document, there's our solution.